the call. We'll wait for some time for more folks to join in, and then we'll start. Okay. Welcome to SigNoz community call.
Thank you, sir. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're waiting for just 1 more minute for more folks to join in, and we'll start.
Sounds good.
Cool, Chitransh. I think we can start.
Cool. Hi everyone, I'm Chitransh. I am part of the SigNoz team and I'll be moderating this call. So before I begin, I would want to ask everyone if there's anyone who wants to share about their experience using SigNoz, or if they just want to share how they came to know about SigNoz or how they came to know about OpenTelemetry in general.
Any volunteers?
I can share.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I recently got hired at a consulting company where I'm implementing OpenTelemetry, and we're using Honeycomb to observe the telemetry. And in my search to understand more of the OpenTelemetry, I found the SigNoz, and I've been reading your guys' articles, and I find it very interesting and to help provide more clarity on how to implement OpenTelemetry and what else can be instrumented.
That's great to know.
So what was something that you find like really interesting about OpenTelemetry and SigNoz?
For me, I think it's the impact of performance for the business. It helps you figure out, if your system is reliable, and then especially tying those with SLOs, you're coming closer, to the business needs, and I think it has a greater impact.
Right. Nice. That's good to know. Anyone else who wants to share anything? Cool. Okay, I'll head over to next part. So what we generally do in this call is we use Agile Coffee Board. And I'll just share the link and my screen to explain. Cool. So this is the coffee board that we use. So you can put up a discussion item under here, right? And so this is a sample discussion item. You can put discussion items here, and you like if someone finds that question interesting, they can upvote the question. So we'll take the question in the order of the upvotes, and we'll just go back from first question to the last. So I have shared the link in the chat. So you can go ahead and put up your question. We'll take some time to we'll take probably 7 minutes to for you guys to have the question there, and then we can start the discussion.
Questions can be anything around SigNoz, OpenTelemetry.
Yeah.
Can everyone access the link?
I can access it, yeah.
Cool, folks. Feel free to jot down any question that you want to get discussed. Okay, I see only one question on the board till now. Folks, feel free to like jot down anything that you want to get discussed, any problems while implementing OpenTelemetry, something you're not able to understand, or even if you want an overview of what OpenTelemetry is and how SigNoz can help you. Any feature request or anything that you want to share as a feedback while using SigNoz. For folks joining in now, we are collecting all the questions that will be discussed on this link in the chat. You can add your question in a discussion items column. We'll just have one more minute and then we can start the discussions. Chitransh.
Yeah.
Folks, you can also vote on the discussion items.
Yeah, feel free to ask anything that could make your experience of using OpenTelemetry and SigNoz better. If you have any doubts.
Cool, Chitransh, let's get started.
So I think I'll take the first question itself. So CI/CD observability is now officially part of OpenTelemetry semantic conventions. Will SigNoz make this part of the roadmap? So the person asking this question, can you give more context about it?
That was me. I'm new to the OpenTelemetry and the SigNoz, and I guess I'm assuming that the SigNoz is a product built around the OpenTelemetry or leverages the OpenTelemetry. And with this new contribution of the CI/CD observability, is that something that you guys will leverage to enhance the product, or maybe is that something that SigNoz already does?
Okay.
So we have with us Shrikant and Vishal. These are like core contributors in the SigNoz repo. Do you guys have any idea around this?
um yeah, this is something that we uh we have we keep an eye on it, and this is something that we it will be part of our roadmap, but it's something we are still seeing the what like there is a semantic conventions aspect, and then there is actually some tooling that actually produces the telemetry data, right? So that's still not there. Yeah, it is something that we are going to support and leverage, so that there are yeah, so there is a broader area where one of the things that we internally focus is how do we make SigNoz best for the platform engineers or reliability engineers. So this is one of the areas that we internally believe SigNoz should be should be able to help support the engineers that who work on the reliability side, platform side also. We want to leverage whatever the semantic convention that OpenTelemetry provides. and support them in future. So yeah, it is part of our roadmap.
Thank you.
Right. Currently, we have a timeline around it, Jackie. So, but yeah, it is part of our roadmap, and once it matures up, then we'll implement it. Cool. We can move on to the next question. Does that answer your question, Zachary, or do you have anything more?
Yes, sir, that answers my question.
Okay.
So the second question, what's the best strategy to learn OpenTelemetry? So the person asking this question, can you like give more context around it? What kind of thing do you want us to answer for this?
That was me again.
Yeah.
So I'm coming from like traditionally I was like a system administrator and then I turned DevOps. I'm not a traditional software engineering engineer, but I've been learning Go to be able to understand how to instrument the applications with the OpenTelemetry. And I was want to know if, in your experience, if you had a specific strategy that worked well for you for learning, new technologies.
So like anyone here who wants to answer this question, I feel
Anyone from the community also?
yeah,
Great.
a lot of people would know about OpenTelemetry. They might have started their journey learning about OpenTelemetry. So anyone wants to share something? Cool. So I'll just go ahead and share my own journey. So I've been new to this whole domain and OpenTelemetry itself. So for me, I think what I did was I tried implementing things in general. So some of the things that I did was I went through some of the blogs that are published around OpenTelemetry. So I'm more of a, you can say, text-oriented person rather than visual-oriented person, right? So I think going through some really good blogs, trying to understand how people have implemented things helps a lot. But yeah, there are, since you already have some really good background, Zachary, so I feel I did one very basic course around OpenTelemetry, understanding how OpenTelemetry work internally and how I can like technically use it in my own projects, like small projects that I'm doing. So like two of the ways is like going through some really good blogs and just implement it on your own application and asking around in the OpenTelemetry community or the SigNoz community if you are facing some troubles, right? And if you are more of a visual learner, I think there are some like a couple of good courses around hotel that explains the basics of hotel, and there are some good YouTube videos as well. So like if you want, I can share them with you. Just ping me in our SigNoz Slack community. But yeah, does that like helps you out, or does that answer your question?
Firstly,
Yes,
I would, yeah. So, Bhavin, I would recommend like our docs, SigNoz docs is a good resource for OpenTelemetry. So, if you have a end goal in mind, right, let's suppose you want to instrument an application in a particular language, or you want to do custom metrics, or you want to correlate some traces. So, SigNoz docs is a good resource. Then, of course, OpenTelemetry website docs. And the third very good resource I'll suggest is you can actually check out the GitHub repos of OpenTelemetry. So, those are like the source of truth, right? I mean, and usually these repos they do have a good readme, so those are good places to start. And as Chitrans mentioned, if you have any like end goal in mind, right, let's suppose you want to use it for logs or for traces or for metrics, then with that outcome it's because it's a very vast project, you will only get to understand it if you have some end goal and objective, and then you just try to implement it and then go about it.
that's great advice. I agree. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
So I'll move to the next question. Some services in SigNoz show data in DB metrics and external connections tab, but for some services, these graphs are always empty. That service has database connectivity. What can be the reason? So the person asking the question, can you provide more description about it?
Yes, sure. We have added some services for some of them. This service providing API, for example, it has also connection to database. For some services, it shows the external connectivity info in that graph, also in DB metrics. But for some services, we don't see that information. I've tried to solve it different ways with different versions of telemetry, but it shows to be same. It's always empty. I can share also screen if needed.
No need to share the screen. This usually happens when like, so there might be some client library that you are using to connect to database server, right? The reason you don't if you are not even though the service has a database connectivity, but if you are not seeing any metrics in DB metrics tab, it means that the instrumentation is not working. It can be like it may be any, like, reasons can be anything. It needs some troubleshooting. So what I would suggest you is, like, look at the database client library that you are using, see if there is an instrumentation to it. If there is an instrumentation to it, look at the version compatibility, and see if if your version that you are using is compatible with that, and see if there are any other customization that you need to do for the instrumentation library. Like, personally, I would suggest create an issue, like, and explain what you did, and if first see if the instrumentation exists for the library that you are using. If you believe it exists and the compatibility is still there, and you still don't see the metrics in that DB tab, then maybe create an issue. Then we can discuss that, like, offline.
Okay, thank you. Just as information, it runs on IBM iX Power Machine.
So what I'm trying to say is that if you're seeing some services working and some services not working, it's most likely the instrumentation issue. There is probably, whatever the database server that you are talking to and the library that you are using to talk to database server, that library is not instrumented.
Got it. If in this case I should open case to OpenTelemetry, or
you like, first you can discuss in SigNoz community channel, and if we find out that it is the issue with OpenTelemetry, ultimately it has to go OpenTelemetry.
Okay, yeah, thank you. It was helpful.
Thanks, Kamal, for sharing your question.
I think it's the last question now. I'm joining the session for the first time. What is the best way to start how to implement OpenTelemetry and SigNoz? I think
Welcome to the first community call. And yeah, from my side, I think the session would be, so if you have a use case in mind, right? Like, let's suppose you have your use case is APM, like you want to monitor your application in a particular language. So I would suggest to go by that language and implement APM in that language and use SigNoz for, of course, the visualization stuff. And then go use case by use case. That would, in that way, you'll be able to break down your learning journey into bits and pieces, and that will be easier. But yeah, if you have anything specific to ask, right, like what is your current use case, and then we can share more, then we can have more advice.
can the person asking this question, like, do you want us to share more information, or is this all?
Yeah, I'll follow the opposite you're saying. I'll go one by one. I need to implement it in a .NET application. I'll follow the documentation and I'll try to implement.
Yeah.
I'll see. Yeah.
Okay. So if you face any issue, you can reach out to us in the Slack community.
Sure. How to join that Slack community? Is there
Let
any
me share
link?
this link. I'll share the link in the chat.
Yeah, you can find
Yeah.
the link. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I think there are a couple of more questions now. Cool.
Yeah, we have time. We can take it up.
Yeah.
And
So I understand the importance of leveraging OpenTelemetry for observability workflows. Currently, at our company, we are evaluating both closed and open source tools, each integrating OTel at their core. My question is, uh, just a second. What are the advantages of choosing a tool with native OTel support over the vendor solution, aside from the cost difference? So can the person asking this question please share more context around this? Like,
I'm not able to see the question. Is it being highlighted by someone? It is a pain blur to me.
can you click that edit button there? I think then you should be able to see.
Oh, okay. Now I can see.
Cool. So the person asking this question, can you share more context about this? Cool. I think,
So in my view, what are the advantages of choosing a tool with native OTel support? So see, currently most of the tools do say that they do support OpenTelemetry, but a difference between an OpenTelemetry native tool and a tool that has their own agent is that the data which comes out of OpenTelemetry, right? They don't have that first class support in their visualization. So usually what we have done, like we have also like gone through other vendors, like how do they support OpenTelemetry. But usually there are two challenges that we have faced. First is like with their docs, like their docs is not open telemetry first. So whatever you need to find, or let's suppose you want to do a use case, it's tough to find good documentation around it. And the second that we have seen is in their dashboards, of course, the data coming out of their own proprietary agent will be supported first, and they will have the first class visualization. But open telemetry, like in some vendors, we have noticed that for open telemetry, there's just a single dashboard where you can see the data coming out of open telemetry. And for some vendors, we have seen that they don't particularly utilize the open telemetry's semantic conventions and all the data that open telemetry gives out. For example, one of the things that we do in SigNoz is like we get exceptions out of our trace data, and we also correlate exceptions to traces, right? So we try to leverage open telemetry semantic conventions and whatever data that the instrumentation libraries gives out to its fullest extent. But that's not really possible for old age observability tools that have been there in the market for quite some time, and they are using their own agents. So, but if you have any specific something that you want to ask, then we can help more. But that has been like our experience thus far, and that's why we are building SigNoz to be open telemetry native.
Cool. I think I hope this answers the question.
Yeah, this is a very interesting question. We'll have to discuss more if you want,
Yeah.
discuss in the community also, because all our work is around this only.
Yeah, I guess we'll be very happy to answer this in more detail. So I think this is the last question. I have installed self-hosted SigNoz in on-prem environment. We are thinking enterprise edition. Would you share additional info? What advantages we will get, and will you help with correct setup and architecture? I have read the pricing part, but wanted to learn more if possible. The person, yeah, like, do you want to elaborate more about this? The person asking this question.
About you mean more detailed information, like as I said, we have installed on premise. We have added like 20 Java written application to it, maybe more. It shows okay. I mean, we get all data monitoring, all seems good, but maybe we are thinking that maybe we didn't set up everything correctly or as it's expected to be. So we wanted at least someone from SigNoz to review our setup and give us some, I don't know, recommendations. Also, we are thinking getting Enterprise Edition, but I suggested this to my management, but they said that what we will get when we buy Enterprise Edition instead of just using. As for now, we see everything, exceptions, metrics, everything is fine, but we want to invest seriously. Actually, there was a comparison between different monitoring systems, but we liked this. But they ask what we will get if we buy enterprise version.
Cool, Kamil. I mean, so there are some features that are mentioned on our pricing page. So those are there in the enterprise edition. And I'm assuming you are looking for the enterprise edition of the self-hosted version, right? Like you'll be using SigNoz hosted in your enterprise itself.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, the features that is there, like apart from the community edition, the features like SSO SAML, dashboard locking, and all those things are there. But of course, I mean, the main advantage of having the enterprise edition is to get the support from SigNoz team. So that's included in the enterprise edition, and we have some other features also that is upcoming, like finer role-based controls and audit logs. So those are planned for enterprise edition. I mean, all this information is there on the pricing page, but if you are looking for like something specific, you can reach out to us on mail, or maybe you can fill up this enterprise form that we have on our website, and we'll get in touch with you.
Okay, got it. Then I will write from contact page, so to go to direct communication. Thank you.
I think that's it. I think all the questions are covered now.
Cool, done. Yeah.
Cool, folks. So,
Cool, folks. Thanks for joining. I mean, lovely questions. We would, I mean, would love to have like more, more detailed questions around SigNoz and OpenTelemetry. But good to see, I mean, people trying out SigNoz and OpenTelemetry and trying to learn their way up. So yeah, looking forward to more great discussions in our next community call. Cool, folks. So then you add something, or you want to say bye?
yeah, I mean, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to just ask us on our community. Right, we are reachable there, and we try to actively answer all the questions that we can. Yeah, if there's anything left to discuss, you can always put us on the community.
Cool, folks.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, bye, folks.
Take care.